Welcome to 2K Sports in the NBA. I'm your host, Damon Bruce. The NBA season just getting...
The Bulls play before the hometown crowd, and we've got it live for you right here from Chicago. A quick check now at the starting lineups for both teams. And one of the players we'll be seeing in this one, Luol Deng.
Deng is a versatile small forward, Kevin, able to do so many things that help you win games. He can score in transition. He can knock down that jump shot off of one or two dribbles. And then a very engaged defender who's got length and really good fundamental technique at that end of the floor.
I agree wholeheartedly there. And he's also a nice complementary scorer. I mean, able to knock down the spot-up jumper, a steady 15 to 18 points per game score, pretty much his whole career. Rock solid and steady.
Looking at Chicago, they took the win in their last game against the Sacramento Kings. And that was a close call. They pulled it out with the win and just 2 points at that. But it wasn't easy.
And it was the role players in that game, Kevin, that really led the charge. The guys who normally don't score a lot, they came in and really contributed.
A total team performance, Steve, the kind you need if you're going to win on the opponent's home floor.
And that one's good.
Well, Kobe's never been shy about shooting. You know, a lot of people would argue that he gets maybe a little too shot happy sometimes, but you want a guy who's dominant. You want a guy who's not afraid, who's going to fail and just come right back and fire away the next time.
Now that was pretty. That was just a nice-looking reverse jam right there.
Use the rim, Clark, to protect the ball, I think, too, a little bit.
Yeah, did a nice job with it.
Yeah, no question, Kevin. Great awareness and terrific finish.
And the Lakers with possession here. The Bulls getting the bucket. Fires the three. And another three for the Lakers. And when you talk about Kobe's role offensively for the Lakers, it's worth mentioning last season was one of his most efficient scoring the basketball.
It really was. And you consider the turmoil that surrounded the Lakers all season. It was remarkable that Kobe was as even-keeled as he was. Stayed focused and start to finish, he delivered the type of all-star performance that he always does. Very impressive.
Doris Burke has some information for us. Doris?
Well, Tom Thibodeau gave me a few minutes to catch up with him. I asked him what he'd most like to see from his team today, and he told me we'd really like to keep Pau Gasol under wraps in this run. He went on to explain that Gasol can take over games with his efficiency on the offensive end, and the key to their win will be getting a hand in his face every time. Guys?
Thanks, Doris. Here's Red Hot, and it's blocked by Deng. They get a hand on it. Kobe with the steal. Here's Red Hot.
The windmill finish. Now that's nasty. How do you do?
Finishes the play. Utter disregard for his own safety.
Look at his teammates. They're just shaking their heads. I mean, he must have told them to look out for that one.
And, you know, for the Lakers last season, a lot of turmoil. You think about the coaching change, but it wasn't just that. It was a whole system change as well. And the front office felt the Princeton offense they started using wasn't working out. So they were in a state of flux all season long.
Here's Rose. Outside Butler. Ball's knocked loose. And now here comes Kobe leading the break.
What a throwdown there, man.
And that one is stuffed right through. And what's your take, guys, in the hustle stats for the Lakers?
Boy, their frenetic defense has really been impressive, putting a lot of pressure on ball handlers and turning them over.
They've gotten their fair share of points off turnovers so far tonight, too.
And going back to the Princeton offense that Clark mentioned, Steve, tell us about that offense and why do you think it didn't work out?
Well, they only gave it 5 games, Kevin. I mean, Mike Brown was 1-4 when he got fired, and that's impossible to install an offense and expect it to work that quickly. So, I mean, I think the offense would have been fine if they had given it time and given Mike Brown some time to install it.
And let's bring up a list of point guards that over the last month have been on fire from three-point land. Take a look at Red Hot. He's absolutely deadly from outside. And, of course, Kirk Hinrich. He's another top 10 guy in three-point shooting percentage. Well, it was the Los Angeles Lakers winning their last game against the Kings. Butler kicks it to Noah. Rose. Noah with a screen for Rose. Double team on Dang. Rose defended by Young. Rose attacking. Out of bounds, Bulls ball. Chicago keeps possession.
And now a look at Chris Kaman, some of the numbers for him, how he performed last season.
Four on the shot clock. Boozer dishes to Rose. Count that one. Rose has got his second basket.
Offensively, he can be the engine that drives them at any given time. Tell you what, it's hard to argue with the record for Coach Tom Thibodeau of the Bulls, but the rumor mill has it that the front office hasn't been happy with how hard he's ridden his top players. Luol Deng missed time last season with the hamstring injury. Joakim Noah came down with plantar fasciitis. Hey, those things happen, and I'm not quite sure you can put that at the feet of Tom Thibodeau.
Here's Red Hot, and a foul on the shot. He'll go to the stripe for two. And going back to Tom Thibodeau and that minutes load on his stars, it seems it's getting harder for players to weather big minutes, Steve, these days.
I think it's going to be really interesting going forward to see this Bulls team this year and beyond. Will that wear them down? Their guys play too many minutes. They've had a lot of injuries. I think it's time to scale back a little bit on the minutes played.
Boy, I tell you, the Bulls showed how resilient they could be without Derrick Rose last season. They played competitive basketball, but up against the Western Conference, they just didn't quite have the same punch. Got beat up pretty good out west.
And here's Rose. Tipped away.
Come get it, come get it.
Right side Rose. Pass to Boozer. Outside Dang. 5 on the clock. All alone. Good. He hits the jump shot. Dang's got his second basket of the night. And back to the Bulls against the West. Not sure what exactly their shortcomings were, but in the end, Steve, they were only able to win 11 games out of the 30 they played out of conference.
You know, the Bulls were a team that could win games on grit and toughness, but the West was a lot more talented last year than the East. And so some nights Chicago just kind of ran into reality, and they didn't have enough talent to deal with some of those Western teams.
And here's Rose, following the three-pointer by Kobe Bryant. Kaman passes to Red Hot. Rose with the block. It's going to be out of bounds. Los Angeles will retain possession. Chicago making some changes. Muhammad comes in for Joakim Noah. And Taj Gibson is subbed in for Carlos Boozer. Rose with the double team. Red Hot the pass to Kobe. Gasol kicks to Young. Lakers passing it around. Passes it to Red Hot. Lets the three fly. That's good. And it's Kobe with the assist. Kobe's got 3 assists now in this one.
It has taken them no time to build this lead up on the strength of a great first quarter offensively.
And they need to continue to put pressure on the defense and try to really run away with this one from here.
Now here's Butler. He hasn't scored yet. That I'm sure will change. Shot clock at 6. Rose attacking. And out of bounds as Los Angeles gains possession. Some changes for Chicago. Mike Dunleavy, he's checked in for Dang. Heinrich comes in for Jimmy Butler. And it's Marcus Teague in for Derrick Rose. Los Angeles leading by 18. Back to Young. It's Kobe Bryant on the wing. And again, Los Angeles with the triple.
Well, Kevin, he's got such a great focus as a shooter. He's a very frustrating player to guard because unless you actually block his shot, you are not going to get in his head and affect him.
And, you know, he's also a tough finisher, Steve. There's very little a defender can do if he gets to within arm's length of the basket.
Young against Teague. Heinrich outside. Outside Teague. He kicks it to Muhammad. And it's going to be a goaltending call here, so they'll count the bucket.
He got there late, but you do have to like the aggressiveness to go after the block. But that one's going to count.
1:43 left in the first. Here's Red Hot. In the game against Sacramento, very impressive. Young, outside, Kobe. Buck-Cree. And again, Los Angeles with the triple.
That's 12 straight points coming off three-pointers. I mean, somebody do something defensively.
Well, I agree with you. I mean, who's going to step up? They're rolling out there now, so you got to get in their chest, make them uncomfortable, and try to deny those looks.
Lakers leading by 20. Here's Red Hot. Again, Los Angeles.
They've built a big lead here early.
Both defensively and offensively. They've been terrific right from the tip.
Got a piece of it. Now Heinrich. Quiet so far offensively, searching for his first points of the game. Teague dishes to Muhammad. 6 on the shot clock. Teague kicks to Muhammad, and it's blocked by Kaman. And he recovers it. Teague can't hit.
Boy, I don't know who has that kind of range. That's well beyond the arc.
Not sure what he was thinking about there.
Shots good from Red Hot.
Well, with this soft D, they're allowing them to shoot a very high percentage from the field so far.
Yeah, and they're just not offering any resistance, not making anything difficult for them, and they're able to kind of do whatever they want to do.
3 seconds separate the shot clock and game clock.
Get outside, get outside.
Teague, the pass to Gibson. And there's the feed to Dunlap. Misses the three. And the buzzer sounds to end the first, and we've got a blowout underway here. Lakers ahead, opening up a huge gap. And the second quarter will get underway just after this short break.
Coming up Wednesday, December 4th, LeBron James and the Miami Heat take on Ty Lawson and the Denver Nuggets. Live from Denver, big-time hoops coming your way.
Welcome back, everyone. A lopsided first quarter in the books already as we start this second quarter. And for the Lakers, this has been the game they wanted to have.
I was impressed with their transition game, guys. They really got out and ran the lanes.
Yeah, they did. I mean, no better way to get easy buckets than through fast breaks.
Now here's Teague. They've got Taj Gibson. Marcus Teague out there with Heinrich. And it's Murphy in at the 4 spot.
Oh, get it! Oh, watch out now.
Oh, man, they are just putting the hammer down right now.
Defensively and offensively. It has all been working for him today. You know, in one of the more compelling postseason stories, the question about when the Bulls would bring Derrick Rose back just continued to hover around the playoffs. Ultimately, just never happened.
And the Lakers with possession here. The Wizards on the road to face them after this game. They start a 3-game homestand with that game.
Some good matchups out there. And that Washington Wizards game definitely worth checking out.
Well, back to the Bulls, and even without Rose, I think the team made a big statement, Steve, with how they played in the postseason. They showed that they weren't just a one-man show with Rose running things and have a solid core and system that will always compete.
Well, it's the second straight year that the Bulls have essentially been without Rose in their playoff run due to injury. And so I think Chicago fans are kind of wondering what exactly the roof is for this team, the ceiling, if you will. Let's hope that Rose stays healthy this year, so we'll find out.
Used a shot fake to create the angle, but couldn't get it to fall. Here's Red Hot. Oh,
Hammer time! Hammer time!
nasty, absolutely filthy.
And the building is stunned, partner. He dug deep into his bag of tricks there.
I hope he keeps that one handy. I want to see that again.
Here's Gibson. That's good. And so Teague with the assist. Teague's got 3 assists in the game. Now Kobe. Boy, that win against the Kings. He's another guy who really showed up to play. Takes the 13-footer, and the Lakers tack on 2 more.
And fellas, in this quarter, he's improved on what was already a very good performance in period number 1.
Another steal. Here's Red Hot. Whole rim is shaken. Boom, he jams it straight down.
Boy, I love it. Active hands on the steal, active feet on the fast break.
And Clark power on the dunk.
And guys, this is just too close of a game to be giving the ball up like that and then failing to get back in transition.
Well, it's not just point guards that can pass the rock. Here are the assist leaders among shooting guards over the span of the last month. And you look at Kobe Bryant, an uncommonly gifted passer, leading the league in assists. And, of course, Nick Young.
And what that group has a great understanding of is the importance of ball movement. They can really all create their own shot, but they're superb setup men as well.
You know, I enjoy seeing that mindset in a shooting guard where basically he's saying, I'm going to attack at all times, but if it's not there for me, I can drop a dime on you just as easily.
Joakim Noah, he's checked in for the Bulls. Heinrich with it, now guarded by Red Hot. Snell, and he's good on the 3-ball.
I like the offensive awareness to exploit that lack of coverage on that play.
Here's Red Hot, and the Lakers check on 2 more.
He is setting this place on fire, fellas. His shooting has been off the charts.
For Chicago, they've gone 2 of 3 from the field here to open the second quarter.
Guys, for Kobe Bryant last season, you talk about adversity. I mean, the coaching change, the team struggle, and finally, once they started to get back on track right at the end of the season, he tears his Achilles tendon. Tough break.
And Clark, they've been a little too casual with the ball out there.
Yeah, I think so. Too cool. I mean, just not forceful enough, not alert or aggressive enough, and sometimes trying to do too much with the basketball.
Sometimes you just got to make the easy pass. Somebody's open, throw it to them. When you do that multiple times, the game starts to find a flow to itself.
And for Kobe Bryant, the completely torn Achilles tendon. You wonder if his big minutes contributed. At age 34, he's second in the league, for instance, in minutes played. He averaged almost 46 minutes a game in the 7 games leading up to the injury. And this is a guy that when he is on the floor, high torque at all times.
Well, there's no evidence that playing all those minutes led to the injury. We know that the Lakers were in a huge battle for a playoff spot, so it's easy to see why the coaching staff decided to ride him like that. But it does make you wonder, at his age, was that just too much for him?
Heinrich, and a bit of a battle here for the ball. The official signals a jump ball here. Chicago with the ball. Snell. The rebound by Gasol.
Oh, that's a frustrating one there. Easy look at the hoop.
Shot's good from Red Hot.
His work at the offensive end has been phenomenal. Maybe reason number 1, they're ahead.
Heinrich outside. From the arc. The Bulls keep it alive. Noah kicks to Heinrich. Outside Teague. Back to Heinrich. He feeds it to Murphy. Fires the 3. And a great assist by Heinrich as that one goes in. Murphy's got himself going with the triple, his first basket of the game. Kobe, the pass to Red Hot. Nick Young on the wing. Red Hot. Lakers passing it around. 6 to shoot. Back to Kobe. The shot. And again, it's the Lakers.
He's a big reason why they have the lead right now. He's made all of his field goal attempts thus far and remains hot from the floor. You know, last season, a lot of folks had the Lakers picked as the super team in the West, the team that would maybe challenge Miami and LeBron, but from the start, it just never was a cohesive group and really had one of the most disappointing seasons in the Lakers' history.
And out of bounds as Chicago gains possession.
And a look here at how the Lakers ranked in the NBA last season. 4th in rebounding, 6th in scoring. And they were a top 10 team in field goal shooting. Not bad for a team that's got an awful lot of young, talented players.
And this is a team that really relied most heavily on the rebounding numbers that you talked about. I mean, at top 5, they're a team that likes to attack the lane at both ends of the floor, really control the glass on defense and try to pound you inside with the offensive boards.
Clark, as you said, the Lakers had a lot of lofty expectations put on them, but you never know what's going to happen when a team is put together. And Steve, they just couldn't reach that bar that was set so high for them.
Yeah, the expectations were so high, Kevin, but injury issues cost them all season long. Nash, Howard, Powell, and of course Kobe with the Achilles at the end of the year. And that unit only started 7 games all season together, so they never really were able to develop any chemistry.
Then kicks to Rose. Clock at 6. That's tipped. Fast break. Here comes Chicago. Then kicks to Rose. No good. So Los Angeles will take it the other way. And going against Chicago, their first meeting of the season. And keeping us updated from the sideline, let's swing it over to Doris Burke for an update. Hi, Doris.
Gentlemen, this summer, the Bulls broke ground on a new 60,000 square foot practice facility situated just east of the United Center. Starting next season, it will replace the 12-year-old Berto Center, a half-hour away in Deerfield, Illinois. The Bulls coming back downtown and doing it in style, in a state-of-the-art building with all the amenities, including a rooftop green terrace. Kevin?
Pretty impressive, Doris. Thanks.
Well, the number one priority for a defense when you face this guy is to keep him getting anywhere from the basket because he's just so strong as a finisher.
And also, he's absolutely able to do some incredible things in the air. I mean, he can look like a gymnast sometimes, twisting his body, double clutching his shot. But he maintains a smooth approach to it all.
Here's Red Hot, and he takes that one up and powers it through. He has a highlight reel unto himself, guys.
Yeah,
wow.
That could very well be a contender for Dunk of the Year and perhaps might make its way all over the internet.
I'm with you. I'm with you, Clark. That's a crowd pleaser if I've ever seen one.
Here's Rose. A rebound by Gasol. Gasol's got 6 rebounds here tonight. Here's Red Hot. He's covered by Rose. Takes a shot at the elbow. And again, it's the Lakers.
You know, he's showing some kind of a killer instinct this quarter, trying to stretch this lead out.
Bulls have gone 6 of 13 so far from the field here in the second quarter. Here it goes. And that's off the glass and in. Rose has got 8 points.
His shooting has been so good today. He may have to take it upon himself to try to get his club out of this hole.
That's good. 23 points for Kobe Bryant.
3 consecutive baskets have come right at the rim. The defense had better start buckling down and tightening up.
Yeah, they're getting exposed right now.
Rose, that's good.
The soft finger roll is just one of the many finishing moves he has in his bag of shot making.
Here's Red Hot. And again, it's the Lakers from deep. And through one half, it hasn't even been close. Los Angeles on top, running away with it. Make sure you stay tuned for the Sprint Halftime Show with Damon Bruce. Then we'll be back here right after that for the second half.
And now, brought to you by Sprint.
Thanks for joining us on 2K Sports as the NBA season revs up. Let's get into the halftime report. The Los Angeles Lakers in front against the Bulls at United Center. They're giving him the old-fashioned beat down, pushing him around on both ends of the court. A tremendous first half for Red Hot. He's absolutely exploded, racking up the points, and is putting out the effort defensively as well, making his presence felt on both ends of the floor. On the other side, the Bulls haven't been terrific. They're undefeated so far this season, but their lackluster play in that first half is putting that in jeopardy. Derrick Rose is their leading scorer. We've come to expect performances like this one from him. Now let's take off with some other games in progress around the league. The Thunder have the lead out in Oklahoma City against Utah, about midway through the third out there. And another one also in progress, a close game for the Clippers at Staples Center up against Indiana. Things are pretty close out there in the third quarter of action.
And another game going on.
For the Suns at U.S. Airways Center, we find them trailing to Cleveland. They're behind by 4 points in the third quarter. Thanks so much for spending halftime with me. Now let's head on back out to Kevin and the gang.
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
And one of the shores of Lake Michigan, the lights of the great city of Chicago, as we return. You know, Red Hot has really been making it happen, guys.
Well, he created a lot of opportunities for himself in the first couple of quarters. And tell you what, he was smart with his shot making, too. Really took good ones.
You know, points per shot attempted is really one of the undervalued stats in the game, and it's a real measurement of efficient scoring. People have talked about the defensive renaissance in Chicago as a big part of their turnaround, and that's accurate. Thibs has done wonders for this team defensively, but another aspect is that they've had one of the deepest benches in the league the past few years, too.
So the Lakers 5 right now. Inside the 7-footers, Gasol and Kaman. Kobe is out there with Red Hot, and it's Young in at the small forward.
And he's performing at such a high level. That's why they're in the lead right now.
Knocked loose. Out of bounds, Bulls ball as Chicago keeps possession. Going back to what you said, Clark, about Chicago, it is a credit to them that they've been able to constantly add or draft talent that is ready to step in for them and Steve contribute off the bench.
Yeah, no doubt about that. You think about Taj Gibson, a late first-round pick. Jimmy Butler last year really emerged as one of the best young players in the league. Great story. So terrific job by the Bulls front office in figuring out which player to take later in the first round.
They're going back to the three-point shot over and over and over.
That was the 9th straight point from behind the arc, Clark. It feels like they're finding the holes in this defense.
Kobe comes with the double team. Red Hot, and the ball's tied up, so we'll have a jump ball. And it's the Bulls with the ball. Double team on Rose. Into Noah. Down to 5 on the shot clock. And that one's good.
That's where you like to get shots, inside and close to the hoop.
Los Angeles has gone 2 of 2 from long range in the third quarter so far.
You know, to me, one reason why Carlos Boozer is such a valuable scorer is that he can hurt you in a multitude of ways inside. He can hit the rainbow jumper of his, and when he's back to the basket, can go over both shoulders very well.
Rose kicks it to Noah. Dang. Good ball movement here by the Bulls. Noah defended by Gasol. And it's going to be out of bounds. The Bulls will retain possession. Here's a look at the teams that have been dominant offensively over the course of the past month. The Lakers, #1.
I just love the flow with which they've played recently. I mean, this is a dominant team offensively because of that rhythm and pace.
Rose, no good. And for Boozer, you remember the story. Growing up in Alaska, his dad tied his right hand to his waist so he'd have to develop his left, and that was something that he worked on even more when he went to Duke.
Well, yeah, his left hand is fantastic. I mean, that's his preferred hand when he's finishing around the rim. A right-handed jump shooter, but anything around the basket is usually his left. So he probably owes his dad a debt of gratitude for tying him up all the time.
That's one way to put it. Butler with the ball. Looking for his first basket still in this one. Another steal. And they're moving it up. The shot's good from Red Hot.
They're rolling now. 5 straight hoops to start this quarter.
Poke loose. And he hammers that one down right in the face of Carlos Boozer.
Oh, this is getting ridiculous. They can't possibly keep this run going much longer.
I tell you what, Steve, it's already lasted longer than I thought possible.
All alone and finished off by Gasol.
Textbook example there of how to use defense to create offense.
Yeah, beautiful transition play after the steal all the way to the basket.
Wasted no time going from defense to offense.
Yeah, it feels like they're starting to pick up the intensity as the game itself starts to get a little more tight and close.
Come on, are you kidding me? The reverse windmill? Man, you got to have some serious nerves going to that finish.
He just couldn't help himself. Clark had the space, has the hops, why not?
Oh, if I could do that, I would too, fellas. And their offense is flowing. It's clicking right now at the beginning of the second half. They've made 3 of their first 4 attempts.
Los Angeles has gotten the 3-ball working for them in the second half. They've hit 3 out of 3 shots from long range. Here's Red Hot. And again, it's the Lakers from deep.
And at the offensive end, he's done about as much as they could have hoped for today.
Bulls have gone 3 of 4 so far in the third quarter from the field. Pretty good start to the half. Gasol against Dang. Gasol dishes to Young. Kicks it to Kobe. He passes to Red Hot. They double him with Butler. Here's Red Hot. And again, it's the Lakers from deep.
This defense is giving their shooters free reign to operate from behind the arc.
That's right. I think it's time for them to start closing down. You've got to run shooters off that three-point line.
Not watching the line there. That'll be a backcourt violation.
Well, we've got a moment to look back at last year's Bulls. 8th in rebounding, 8th in assists, and they were top 10 in free throw percentage. That's always helpful in winning games.
Man, what stands out to me, Clark, with what you just talked about is the rebounds, because this is a very physical team. They like to try to bully their opponent at both ends of the floor. On the defensive glass, they were excellent, and then offensively on missed shots, they really got after it and tried to get second chance points.
Here's what Chicago's going with right now. Ozzie Muhammad's checked in for Noah. Gibson comes in for Carlos Boozer. And it's Dunleavy in for Luol Deng.
The D with very little pressure on their perimeter shooters. 3 of the last 5 baskets they've allowed have been of the three-point variety.
Yeah, and unless they make some rotations and closeouts defensively, there's more to come, Clark.
Gibson passes to Rose. Another steal. Now here's Kobe, the fast break opportunity, and that one's good. And a breakdown here, guys, the hustle stats for the Lakers.
Boy, their hounding, harassing effort at the defensive end, very impressive. And they forced quite a few turnovers as a result.
The other thing they're doing, guys, is forcing turnovers and then creating points offensively as a result.
Guys, that's simply superb. Ball pressure, a run out, and then a dunk in transition.
Exactly, Clark, what they wanted, the aggressive defense to lead to.
Yeah, points in transition.
That's why you want to make the other team feel uncomfortable handling the ball, because you can get easy points out of it at the other end.
You know, there are a number of things that went wrong for the Lakers, and a lot of it led to them being a poor team on the road. They just didn't look like they were on the same page whenever they played away from Staples.
Now that is a quick bucket. Pretty good in transition.
That's right. That's exactly right. He loves when he gets the chance to get out and run. That's when he's at his best.
Rose kicks to Gibson. He's up against Gasol. And it's going to be out of bounds. The Bulls will retain possession. Back to the Lakers in their play on the road. It wasn't for their lack of scoring. They would put up just about as many on the road as they would at home. Steve, it's just that they wouldn't get the stops. The defense wasn't what they needed for road wins.
Well, if you're going to win on the road, Kevin, you have to get stops. And the Lakers didn't do that. And, you know, you think about this year without Dwight Howard now, that defense is only going to get worse. So I would look for the road to be a major issue this year for the Lakers.
Dishes at the Rose. 6 to shoot. Here's Red Hot. What an incredible scoring display he has put on tonight. The Bulls have gone 3 of 4 so far in the third quarter from the field. Pretty good start to the half.
Well, Luol Deng, an all-star for the second straight time in 2013. You know, the numbers don't jump off the page at you, but boy, is he tough and consistent and productive. He's a big part of why the Bulls remain one of the top teams in the East.
You know, one thing you know is that the son of a coach is usually going to have good shooting mechanics, and that's definitely the case with Mike Dunleavy Jr. He always seems cool and composed when he's getting ready to fire away. He's got a great release.
It's just one of the benefits of growing up in an NBA family. Shooting form comes very easy to him, and he makes the most of it. Here's Red Hot again, Los Angeles. And for Dang Clark, and you mentioned this, his number's not that gaudy, but his shooting percentages were down last season. Steve, did that surprise you?
Well, a little bit, but, you know, he had the injured wrist, but I think most importantly, Derrick Rose wasn't there to help him out offensively. But what you love about Dang is he's there every night. He plays about 40 minutes every single night, all defensive team, versatile contributor. So I don't think the numbers always tell the story for Dang.
And Gibson with the block. Bulls have gone 5 of 6 so far from the field in the second half. Tremendous efficiency. Dunleavy dishes to Rose. And he uses the glass on the layup. Rose has got 6 here in this quarter.
So far, going for more of an inside game here in this second half, and I like that. A little smash mouth basketball, taking it inside.
That is good.
Well, he continues to light it up. He's the leading scorer in this game, guys.
Another steal. And it's the Lakers on the break. And finished off by Gasol.
Well, they're winning the speed game, guys, getting out in transition.
Boy, I like the energy they play with offensively, and in the open court, tremendous flow.
6-second difference between shot and game clock. Gets the bucket.
Well, I tell you what, I need to see some more assertiveness out of these defenders. They're not getting the job done.
Yeah, that's 10 of the last 12 points they've allowed on good looks right at the rim.
Outside Rose. Lays it up and banks it in. Rose has got 18 points.
Well, I tell you what, the defenders didn't even get a sniff of him on that move to the hoop.
Here's Red Hot. And again, it's the Lakers from deep.
This is incredible. It's been a three-point barrage since halftime.
Yeah, whether by design or by accident, it has been impressive.
The 3 quarters of play all in the books, and this one all but over already. The Lakers on top, just dominating this one. From the United Center in Chicago, back in a moment.
This Monday night, December 2nd,
Welcome back as we get ready to start the 4th quarter. Not exactly a nail-biter here, but you never know. Marcus Teague out there with Heinrich. Then there's Nazi Muhammad, and it's Murphy in at the power forward. So that's the 5 in the game for Chicago. The shot's good from Red Hot.
Great second half. I mean, he came out of that locker room ready to play.
Teague with the ball. Now guarded by Red Hot. Heinrich kicks to Murphy. And it's sent back by Kaman. He dishes it to Teague. It's held in by Los Angeles. Kaman's got 3 rebounds now in this one.
Well, they've only got a slight edge in rebounding when you look at the numbers, but it certainly feels a lot bigger than it is.
Well, the score has a lot to do with that, Clark. Just based on that, you'd think the rebounding gap would be huge.
Well, the Bulls battled in last year's postseason, got a Game 7 win in Brooklyn to sneak out of round 1 in what was one of the more interesting series of the first round, but then fell to the Heat in round 2.
And for the Bulls, no Rose the whole time, and they had questions constantly being asked if he would return, but the team came together, Steve, and showed the Bulls aren't just a one-man show.
You know, they missed him, though, Kevin. I mean, desperately. I thought they performed admirably, but they really needed him against the Heat. They were able to steal Game 1 in that Eastern Conference semifinal matchup, but without him, the Bulls just didn't have enough firepower to beat Miami.
Stolen. Here's Red Hot. Blanketed by the D. He fights to the rim for the layup.
Oh, this is getting ridiculous. They can't possibly keep this run going much longer.
I tell you what, Steve, it's already lasted longer than I thought possible.
And so it looks like the Bulls will retain possession here. About a minute and a half into the 4th quarter now. Snell, defended by Young, feeds it to Heinrich. Murphy, 6 on the shot clock. Heinrich outside. To halt the run. The Lakers with the rebound. Kaman's got 4 rebounds now tonight.
Kobe.
Here's Red Hot. Teague covering. Doubled by Muhammad. Got it despite fading back a bit.
And as hot as he's been this quarter, the game plan should be simple. Get him the ball and get out of the way.
Poked away. Heinrich inside the 3-point line. Rebounded by Kaman.
Such a solid performance for them inside. The rebounding has been terrific.
Yeah, that's just one of the few things that have gone their way today. Guys, it's a one-man show out there. I mean, he looks like he's willing to handle all of the offensive duties for his team.
Outside Teague. Pass to Murphy. Back to Teague. And again, no good by Chicago.
They're losing their composure a little bit here on the bad end of a run.
Yeah, they are, and they need to come up with a rally-wrecking play here to stop this run. They are not rotating nearly quickly enough on defense down low. Got to get quicker there.
And even if it costs them some foul trouble, I mean, they need to start putting some bodies on bodies. Be physical.
And finished off by Kaman.
Boy, I love it. Active hands on the steal, active feet on the fast break.
And Clark Power on the dunk.
And guys, this is just too close of a game to be giving the ball up like that and then failing to get back in transition.
Kobe against Heinrich. The dish to Muhammad. Kaman with the defensive effort. Los Angeles has gone 2 for 2 from three-point land to start the fourth quarter. And Young kicks to Kobe. Red hot. Back to Kobe. Now the pass to Gasol. The Lakers need to get a shot off here. From past the arc. And there's Kobe. That's good on the assist by Gasol. 26 points for Kobe Bryant. Chicago's gotten off to an 0 for 2 start from downtown here in the fourth quarter. Heinrich a screen on Young. Pass to Murphy. Passes to Heinrich. Shot to stop the drought. And no good. Trying to use the glass.
Very porous defense down there by the hoop. He probably should make that one.
Shoots from the elbow. Again, Los Angeles. The Bulls shooting straight 49% from the field.
Wow, that was unbelievable.
Look at that.
How about that?
Look at that.
Rattle that rim, young man. Rattle that rim.
He did it all right. The rim, the backboard, the stanchion, all of it.
Hope he's okay.
Bulls moving the ball around. But they recover it. Muhammad, good, and Heinrich gets the assist.
Pretty passing. Timely recognition as to where the open man was.
That'll be a 5-second call. Here's a look at the schedule for the Los Angeles Lakers. The Wizards on the road to face them after this game. And that's the first game in a string of 3 straight at home. Mike Dunleavy, he's checked in for Kirk Heinrich. And it's the Bulls with the ball. Knocked away. Kobe with the steal. Pass to Red Hot. From downtown, and again it's the Lakers from deep.
They've gotten a bunch of good looks and have been absolutely lethal from behind the three-point line.
Yeah, you got to get some bodies out there defensively, though. I mean, things are way too easy out beyond the...
What a play.
The rim rattler.
Just a remarkable jam. These fans' jaws are on the ground right now.
Yeah, that is Showtime stuff right there. Major highlight reel material.
Here's Chicago. Right side Teague. Sinks that one from the post. Los Angeles has gotten in the groove from three-point range. They are 4 for 4 since the third quarter ended. And the officials whistle a foul on the shot. The bucket's good. He'll go to the line.
Well, you look at the Lakers' struggles last season. I think it surprised most of us. You know, some of it was injuries. Part of it was just a lack of production off the bench. Then there was the inconsistency of the coaching and just the number of different people who were on that bench. So, difficult season for the Lakers.
Another steal. On up the court. And it's sent back by Teague. They recover it. That's good. That's 28 points for Kobe Bryant.
They've done a terrific job of getting offensive rebounds and then converting those here in the second half. I mean, it's one thing to get the offensive rebound. Oh! That was wicked!
And tack on a few more points to the lead. Why not? I suppose this is an emphatic showing for this club.
And, Steve, they did it in style, a beat down the entire way.
Here's Teague. 1:39 left in the fourth. Here's Red Hot. Laid in with a nice touch off the glass.
And that bucket adds to what's been a big differential in points in the paint between these two teams.
Defensively, the intensity just hasn't been there. They've got to pick up the pace.
Lays it in without an inch of room around him.
Boy, the pace has been relentless. These guys have really been pushing it up, fellas.
They're getting a lot of transition buckets, really pushing the ball in the fast break here, guys.
And it's good.
And they're beginning to fall apart a little bit defensively, especially inside.
Well, that's 4 straight buckets now at the rim.
Now here's Teague. He's guarded closely. And pushing it up. Here's Los Angeles. And that one's good.
You know, they really aren't putting up any resistance on the low block. That's the 5th consecutive basket inside.
And, Steve, these looks they're allowing are almost automatic.
Knocks it loose. Here's Red Hot. A big dunk at the end of the break.
A serious game-clinching run. They've taken off here. Impressive.
No backing off. What a surge at the right time.
46 seconds left to play in the final quarter. And it's the Lakers on the break for the finish.
Unbelievable.
How did he do that?
And the crowd here, of course, not happy about the outcome. But you know what? We saw a team tonight that came in prepared to do battle on the road, and they clearly wanted the win.
You know, they were determined to steal this game, and they showed it, Steve. Played harder and got the job done.
Near the three-point line, it's Dunleavy. And again, no good by Chicago. LA's gotten in the groove from three-point range. They are 4 for 4 since the third quarter ended. The shot's good from Red Hot.
They've had the hotter hand in the first half so far, no question.
Yeah, it's because of all the high percentage shots they've been working for and getting.
And it's the Lakers on the break. And that one is hammered home.
Boy, that was a massive sequence of events there. Absolutely clutch defense to trigger the break.
And we've seen games decided on plays, Clark, just like that.
Effort and hustle plays often are big plays for a team.
Yeah, what a time to blow up a play and then turn it into a slam at the other end.
And a serious dunk to finish it off.
Well, this is how you completely rattle an opponent's rhythm.
Yeah, you know, such terrific on-the-ball defense to trigger the transition opportunity.
And it wasn't just the tough D, it was the exclamation point they put on the fast break with the slam.
So it's Los Angeles winning this one easily. You know, Clark, every team has a bad night, and these guys might want to watch the tape of this game the next time they have a bad night to remind themselves how dominant they can be.
Well, this is one of those dreamlike games for a coach.
Thank you for joining us for this presentation of the NBA on 2K Sports. For Clark, Stephen Doris, and the rest of the crew, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Last but not least, here is your Jordan Player of the Game, Red Hot.